The night of August 20th, 1989, began like any other in the affluent community of Beverly Hills. Behind the gated walls of a luxurious mansion, a tragedy was about to unfold. The night of August 20th, Jose and Kitty Menendez, a seemingly successful and happy couple, were brutally murdered in their own home. Their sons, Lyle and Eric, made a frantic call to 911, their voices choked with what sounded like genuine terror and despair. But as the investigation unfolded, a sinister truth began to emerge, one that would shock the nation and forever tarnish the image of a seemingly perfect family. The scene inside the Menendez home was horrific. Jose, a successful entertainment executive, and Kitty, a former beauty queen, were found sprawled on the floor, their bodies riddled with bullets. The sheer brutality of the crime sent shockwaves through the community and beyond. Who could have committed such a heinous act? As investigators began piecing together the events of that fateful night, all eyes turned to the Menendez brothers, the only other people present in the house at the time of the murders. Lyle and Eric, young men in their late teens and early 20s, became the prime suspects. Their initial grief seemed genuine, their accounts of discovering their parents' bodies both horrifying and heartbreaking. They spoke of a loving family, of parents who adored them. But, as detectives delved deeper into the brothers' lives, inconsistencies began to emerge. Their lavish spending in the weeks following the murders raised red flags. There were whispers of a family secret, a darkness lurking beneath the surface of their seemingly charmed lives. The investigation intensified, the pressure mounting on the Menendez brothers. The world watched in fascination and horror as the case unfolded, captivated by the tale of wealth, privilege, and the potential for unthinkable violence hidden within the walls of a Beverly Hills mansion. Little did they know, the truth was far more complex and disturbing than anyone could have imagined. News of the Menendez murders spread like wildfire, igniting a media firestorm that would consume the nation for years to come. The story had all the elements of a Hollywood thriller: wealth, glamour, and the shocking possibility of two young men from a privileged background turning on their own parents. The public was both captivated and appalled, their fascination fueled by a constant stream of salacious details and conflicting narratives. The media descended upon the case with a vengeance, dissecting every aspect of the brothers' lives, from their lavish spending habits to their seemingly troubled relationship with their parents. Newspapers ran daily headlines, television networks devoted countless hours to covering the latest developments, and talk show hosts debated the brothers' guilt or innocence with fervor. The Menendez brothers became household names, their faces plastered across newspapers and magazines nationwide. Public opinion was sharply divided. Some believed the brothers were cold-blooded killers motivated by greed, eager to inherit their parents' fortune and live a life of luxury. Others saw them as victims, driven to the unthinkable by years of alleged abuse at the hands of their parents. The case became a Rorschach test for societal views on wealth, privilege, and the corrosive effects of family secrets. As the weeks turned into months, the media frenzy surrounding the case only intensified. The Menendez brothers' every move was scrutinized, their every word analyzed for any hint of guilt or innocence. The trial, when it finally came, would be a media spectacle unlike anything the nation had ever seen, a televised courtroom drama that would further fuel the public's insatiable appetite for this shocking tale of family betrayal and murder. To understand the Menendez brothers, one must first understand the complex and troubled family from which they came. Jose Menendez, a Cuban immigrant who had escaped poverty and achieved the American dream, was known for his ruthless ambition and demanding nature. He was a self-made millionaire, having climbed the corporate ladder to become a top executive in the entertainment industry. Kitty, his wife, was a former beauty queen who had given up her own aspirations to support her husband's career and raise their two sons. On the surface, the Menendez family seemed to have it all: a sprawling mansion in an exclusive neighborhood, luxury cars, designer clothes, and every material possession imaginable. But behind the facade of wealth and privilege, a darker reality simmered. Jose was a controlling and emotionally abusive father, pushing his sons relentlessly to succeed, often at the expense of their own happiness. Kitty, struggling with her own demons of addiction and insecurity, was unable or unwilling to shield her sons from their father's wrath. Lyle, the elder brother, was seen as his father's protege, groomed for success in the business world. But the pressure to live up to his father's expectations weighed heavily on him. Eric, the younger and more sensitive brother, struggled to find his place within the family dynamic. He excelled in sports but grappled with learning disabilities and a deep-seated need for his parents' approval, which seemed always just out of reach. The brothers' relationship with their parents was complex and often fraught with tension. There were moments of genuine affection, glimpses of a family that could have been, but these were overshadowed by a pervasive sense of fear, resentment, and a growing disconnect between parents and sons. The seeds of discontent had been sown, and in the fertile ground of wealth and privilege, they would take root and grow into something monstrous.
We were beaten, belittled, and sexually molested by our father. Our mother knew, but she did nothing to stop it. We were terrified that they would kill us to keep their secrets hidden.
It was self-defense. We couldn't take it anymore. We thought they were going to kill us.
As the investigation into the Menendez murders progressed, a shocking new element emerged: allegations of abuse. The brothers, in a stunning turn of events, claimed they had acted in self-defense, driven to the unthinkable by years of physical, emotional, and sexual abuse at the hands of their parents. The public, already captivated by the case, was now utterly stunned. Could these seemingly privileged young men be victims themselves?
These young men were driven to the brink by unimaginable abuse. Their actions, however extreme, were a desperate attempt to escape a cycle of violence.
Lyle and Eric, in tearful confessions to their therapists and later on the witness stand, detailed a horrifying history of abuse. They spoke of being beaten, belittled, and sexually molested by their father, of their mother's complicity in the abuse, and of their growing fear that their parents would kill them to keep their secrets hidden. The allegations, if true, painted a chilling portrait of a family torn apart by violence and betrayal.
The brothers' claims of abuse, while met with skepticism by some, struck a chord with others. Victims' rights advocates rallied to their defense, arguing that the brothers' actions, however extreme, were a desperate attempt to escape a cycle of violence.
The case became a lightning rod for discussions about domestic abuse, particularly the often hidden suffering of male victims. The prosecution, however, remained unconvinced.
The brothers' claims of abuse are a cynical ploy to avoid responsibility for their actions. Their lavish spending after the murders is evidence of their true motive: greed.
The stage was set for a courtroom battle that would pit brother against brother, expert against expert, and leave the jury to grapple with the agonizing question of whether Lyle and Eric Menendez were cold-blooded killers or victims themselves.
The Menendez brothers are not monsters. They are victims of a lifetime of abuse.
We were terrified. We thought there was no other way out.
Our father controlled every aspect of our lives. We lived in constant fear.
This is not about abuse. This is about two young men who wanted their parents' money. The evidence shows a clear motive. The brothers meticulously planned and executed the murders for financial gain.
The prosecution painted a picture of greed and deceit, arguing that the Menendez brothers acted out of cold-blooded desire for wealth.
The years of manipulation and terror they endured cannot be ignored.
Chronic abuse can lead to a state of learned helplessness, where the victims feel they have no other options.
The defense sought to highlight the psychological scars left by their parents' manipulation and terror, aiming to humanize the brothers in the eyes of the jury. As the trial concluded, the question lingered in the minds of many: was justice truly served, or had a grave miscarriage of justice occurred? The jury had spoken, but the debate continued to rage on. For some, the verdict represented a necessary reckoning, while for others, it was a tragic misunderstanding of a complex and painful family history. The story of the Menendez brothers remains a powerful reminder of the intricacies of the human experience and the profound impact of trauma and family dynamics on our actions.
Every day, I think about what happened. The pain never really goes away.
We live with the consequences of our actions, but the questions still haunt us.
The Menendez brothers, now serving life sentences, continue to reflect on their past. The complexity of their case leaves many questions unanswered. Decades later, the Menendez brothers' story remains a subject of public fascination. The case, a blend of wealth, privilege, and tragedy, continues to spark debate and intrigue. The legal battles, the psychological dimensions, and the human drama ensure that this case will be remembered for years to come. The Menendez case highlights the intricate relationship between wealth, privilege, and the pursuit of justice. It serves as a stark reminder that behind the facade of affluence, there can be deep-seated issues and unimaginable pain. The quest for justice is never straightforward, and this case exemplifies the challenges and complexities involved. Thank you for watching. This has been an exploration of the Menendez brothers case, a story that continues to captivate and provoke thought. Stay tuned for more in-depth analyses of some of the most compelling cases in history.